God damn it. Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Nicholas from Leftover Content, and I actually noticed that we did not go over the Titanite shards at all when we grabbed them. I believe at the time of recording I do not have any Titanite chunks, but I'll go over them anyway. And we're just going to read what each of these do, because I realized I never went over the descriptions. Titanite shard for weapon reinforcement. Most common Titanite material. Reinforces standard weapons to +5. Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs. Titanite etched into weapons to reinforce. Titanite chuck for weapon reinforcements. Not found outside of I wanted to say Lanarando, which isn't even a fucking word. Titanite chunk for weapon reinforcements, not found outside of Lordran, reinforces standard weapons to +14 and crystal lightning weapons to +4. With the discovery of trunks in Lordran, the race to locate the legendary slabs has begun. But could they be mere myth? Very interesting, actually. This weapon reinforcing Titanite is imbued with a particularly powerful energy. Reinforces weapons that cannot be normally reinforced to +5. As this Titanite was peeled from its slab, it is said that it received special power, but its specific nature is not clear. These are very actually interesting descriptions. I wonder where these came from. Some sort of giant slab. Probably a Titanite slab. Who knows? Anyway, guys, now the real video will begin. Sorry for taking up your time. Please enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Nicholas from Leftover Content, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls Remastered. In the last episode, we learned that the Taurus Demon has force powers and is able to fling people if they're near ladders, and at ladders only. And on this episode, we're going to figure out how we can get across this bridge. Now, if you don't remember what happened last time, a dragon decided to make this place his permanent breathing ground, as we could put it. So we need to figure out a way to do this. Now, there's actually two ways of getting around that dragon. I'll be going over both of them momentarily because I'm a dumbass and I forgot to level up, so I'll be right back. Anyway, I've upped my dexterity, my strength, and my endurance so that way I can efficiently wield my bow, and I wanted to level up my endurance so I could have more equipment load and more stamina. I leveled up my strength because I do want to be using some heavier weapons. That being said, you might have noticed that when I went down here, there's this little indent here, if you put it. If we come out here, we can take our bow, and we can shoot the dragon's tail from here. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to speed up the footage while I do this. Trust me, guys, doing this is actually really worth it. Oh my god, Guys, I know how to aim. Kill me. Alrighty, there it goes. If you hit the dragon's tail after a certain amount of times, I've heard that's like 25, he will drop the Drake Sword. The Drake Sword is a very overpowered weapon very early on in the game. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, is formed by a drake's tail. Drakes are seen as undeveloped imitators of the dragons, but they are likely their distinct kin. The sword is imbued with a mystic power to be released when wielded with both hands. Now, the thing about the Drake Sword is, if we look at its stats, you'll see that it actually doesn't get a parameter bonus from anything, meaning it does not scale, meaning it's not that good of a weapon, but for what we're using now, this weapon is fantastic. We can wield it with one-handed because we have the strength for it, which is why I wanted to upgrade my strength to higher than what it needed, because I do want to wield other weapons with this. Sorry that took forever. That took me about 5 minutes to do. It doesn't take too long. Just know that you will be sitting here for a while. Now then, I'm going to be showing you both paths. So, on the first path, if you decide to go under this bridge, you'll encounter a few enemies. As you can see, the Drake Sword is omni-powerful. It does not play games with any of these enemies. Another thing that doesn't play games with these enemies are your own kicks. This dude I recommend just kicking out of your way. Now, this sword does have a unique R2 attack when held with both hands. However, it does get rid of its durability rather quickly. Note, these rats right here, oh, good thing I got to show that up, can make poison buildup. Poison this early in the game can be detrimental if you don't have the essence to counter it. It is awful. This is one of the best grinding spots early game for humanity, as there's always 3 rats here. There's a bonfire right down the bridge. You go there, rest, climb the ladder, come back here, kill those 3, rinse and repeat until you have humanity. Now then, welcome to the Undead Parish. I don't think that's the actual term for it. It might be parish. I've always called it parish. Let's take care of this guy right quick. As you can see, there's a gate here that has a bonfire. This was Route 1 on how to get here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you Route 2, which is arguably, in my opinion, the safer way, actually. It can be safer if you know what you're doing. Once again, you take out your bow. If you don't have a bow, you can also use a throwing knife of some sort. Run through here and quickly hide in the corner so you don't get destroyed by those flames. Back up a bit. And as soon as you hit him with one of those, you run across the bridge. By doing so, you can get past him. You can get to this bonfire, light it, and rest up at it. I'm going to actually offer humanity to become human, but I'm not going to kindle it. I don't think this requires any kind of kindle, in my opinion. Yeah, open this thing up, and you're back in the Undead Parish. Simple as that. Again, making the grinding for those humanities much easier, because now you can just go down that ladder right there. Drake Sword, very helpful early on. Now here's something you can do. If you come up here, there's this guy. And he disrespected me by hitting me with the golf swing. Another one of the Black Knights is located here. I kind of recommend that you take this guy downstairs. Don't get too far from him, otherwise his tracking will get messed up and he won't really come down to you. So take your time with him. If you get the Drake Sword, it makes this fight somewhat easier, because instead of hitting him for 12... how long is this thing? Wait, what? What? Did he just... Is he down here? What just happened? Where did he go? What? Okay, so those knights have a low chance of dropping the weapons they are wielding. He had the Black Knight Greatsword, which is a very good weapon in my opinion. I really like it just because it looks cool. Look at that thing. It requires 32 strength and 18 dex, and it has B parameter bonus with strength, meaning it scales decently with it. It's pretty alright. Stronger than the Drake Sword, and it scales. What just happened? My only guess is that he fell through the map. That's my only guess as to what just happened. Note, the Black Knights do not respawn unless you start a new game plus. I don't know. I'm like actually really confused right now, guys. I actually completely forgot to read the description in this, so I'm doing this as a future thing. So you might notice my stats and level are somewhat different than what they're actually. They're wildly different. So you get a little spoiler into the future. Anyway, let me read the Black Knight Greatsword. Greatsword of the Black Knights who wander Lordran, used to face chaos demons. The large motion that puts the weight of the body into the attack reflects the great size of their adversaries long ago. I don't mention this while recording, but I am planning on wielding the Black Knight Greatsword at some point in time. I do want to wield it, so we will eventually and hopefully be using it. That's all I wanted to say, and we'll go back to the video now. God, this video has a lot of cuts, doesn't it? Right now, guys. Alright, so when you come through here, I recommend ignoring the enemies and going right through here. That boar will indeed give you a fight of your life. Luckily, you have the Drake sword. Having that sword makes this part of the game. How about you do a kick, my man? I want a kick. You have those two dudes shooting bow and arrows at you. Don't worry, they ain't the biggest thing in the world. When you get close, they do sometimes take out their swords. Other times they don't. Okay. Good throw. Good throw. Oh, I'm almost dead. This Mecha Bullfango is quite the enemy. Try to dodge him as much as you can and try to get behind him. Bait him down into this area and get hit by him. Getting hit by him is very important. Get behind him and don't... Really, game? Really? I was clearly behind him. If you get low on health, just simply retreat by the fire and... Now, if you throw out a luring skull in the fire, they will just run straight into the fire. Where did you... What? Where? I'm liking that this game is making enemies come after me that aren't supposed to aggro onto me yet. That was really cool. Yeah, those guys, they're not supposed to aggro onto you yet. They're from down there. But they decided that now's the time to come out. If you get behind him, you can do a backstab, which is what I was trying to do the first time, but the game said no. And just beat the shit out of me instead. Anyway, now we can finally continue. I wanted to be human, but no, the game doesn't let me. Yeah, see, normally there's two dudes right here who are waiting to ambush you with this guy. And they're not here. Oh, now you want to do the kick. As soon as I start playing through the game seriously, because I was unhappy with my recording because I thought I wasn't doing good enough and I was being bad at the game, I'm suddenly the best in the universe. Best in the universe, guys. Right there you can pick up a mystery key. We'll go over what that does in a second. That's like the catchphrase of this Let's Play. Here it is, the mystery key. The purpose of this key is unknown. It appears to be a basic prison cell key, so it is known. Okay, so I just quickly looked at the residential key, and it said that it will open up several residences in the Undead Burg. Very interesting. If we come over here, we can get a large soul of the lost undead. You know, free souls. Typically when I play Dark Souls, I have my humanity skyrocketing to like 10 always. But because this game is deciding that I'm just a ding-a-ling, I haven't been doing that. Actually, no. If we come over here, we'll see a new enemy. These guys are incredibly dangerous. Do not pull any punches with them like I just did. Thankfully, Drake's sword is super powerful. If we come over here, we can get a Knight Shield. The Knight Shield is actually better than my current shield. It blocks more. But it will raise my equip load. I don't really care about that. But why don't we read up on it? This medium metal shield is elegantly carved and painted. Although it is thought to have been used by ancient knights of the nobility, its defense capabilities are similar to other shields. Yeah, it's very similar to the current spider shield that we had. The spider shield is really good, but, you know, because it blocks 100% physical damage. But this also does that. And has a slightly higher chance. When we're fighting more magical enemies, I'll probably switch back to the spider shield. If we go down this hall real quick, I recommend just tossing an alluring skull real quick because it will lure this guy to you. Backpedal a bit so you can get out of this hallway. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy. Simply take your time with those enemies. They have a chance of dropping their rapier. So if you're looking to get a rapier for free, this is where you get it. This guy likes to turtle behind a shield. You know the drill by now. Have your weapon clank off the wall so you don't hit him. Alright, good. There's no illusionary wall here, despite what any message says to you ever. If we come out this way, there's actually two ways to go. You can go that way or that way. I highly recommend going this way first. Do not worry, we'll only be visiting this area a little bit. Hug this wall. Hug it. Hug it like your daddy never hugged you. Take this guy out. Grab this basement key. Very important as to what that does. We'll be going over what that does momentarily. And pull that lever. So now you have a shortcut back to your bonfire. If we come over here, there's an item, which is a halberd. The halberd is a fun weapon to use. I highly recommend using it if you want a weapon with some range. Poke your head in here. Let your camera turn you around trying to lock on. Like I said, always take your time with these guys. If your stamina gets low, just, you know the drill. Put down your shield so it comes back faster. Kick the shield out of his way. Swing your weapon. He's dunzo bunzo. Now, throw an alluring skull up against the wall if you still have any. And you would gain the attention of one of these guys again. He was clearly there waiting to ambush you. Lure him out here so you have some room to battle. You can parry these guys if you're feeling confident. I have parried them. They are somewhat easier to parry than other enemies in my opinion because their attacks come out quickly. But their attacks come out quickly. That's the trade-off. And they can also parry you. They have a parry stance. When they point their rapier slightly towards you, that is their parry stance. Now, that big dude over there, don't just straight up bring him towards you just yet. Don't do that. Instead, what you're going to do is turn around and take the other path. The reason why I said don't take him towards you, you'll see why momentarily. If we come over to this section over here, we have a guy raining down arrows on us while two dudes try to fight us with melee. Simply come over to this section. He cannot hit you now. And divvy up your attention between the two. Remember, if you have the Drake sword, they'll die in one hit, making this decently easier. I thought he dropped something for a moment. This guy is also a joke. Run around him. Give him a backstab if you don't have the Drake sword, or a regular stab if you do. Now I'm going to switch to my bow. And aggro him. And bring him out here in which we have a nice area to fight in. This guy Oh, this guy can really kick your butt. He is a unique enemy. He will not respawn after you kill him once. Just note that I highly recommend killing him. The Drake Sword makes this fight, as well as other fights, mundane and easy. 4 hits. 4 hits, guys. And he drops something. He will drop a Titanite shard. I believe he can drop other things, but we got a Titanite shard. That was really good for what he dropped for us. I'm very happy with that. Now then, he was guarding an item, but we're not going to go get it right now. We're going to actually go over here and hide behind this. This is why. This guy, when you were trying to, if you came out here and tried fighting him, he would be casting down sorceries on you while you were trying to fight him. Don't be stupid like me and remember that you can dodge while you're doing this. And watch out for that stupid ass pillar. I've done this flawlessly twice now, and now I can't do it all of a sudden. This does take a little bit, but I do recommend taking this guy out now while you have the chance. This guy is quite the pain in the fanny. I actually did that with 1 more arrow remaining. Wow. Am I actually almost out of arrows? Yes, I am. As you can see, there is an elevator of sorts here. I actually don't know where this goes, because I've been unable to take this elevator. Like I said, I did most of my run in co-op. This area is blocked off to you while in co-op. And up, it's a shortcut back to Firelink Shrine, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, as you can see, it's that elevator shaft I pointed out earlier. I kind of thought that's what it was, but since we're here, why don't we actually rest and level up a little bit? All I did was increase my strength, no biggie. Alrighty, now let's head back to Firelink Shrine. We're there, Nick. Let's head back to the Undead Parish. As I said before, the big heavy knight guy is indeed a unique enemy, and so is that sorcerer. I actually do recommend doing that, because that sorcerer will buff enemies that are up there near him. You can kind of see them from here, if you look closely. You can kind of see them. He will buff them and make them quite the hassle to deal with. I fucking suck. But yeah, that's by resting at that bonfire, I believe that will get rid of their buffs. This guy is in a very awkward location. I do recommend just bringing him back down here for you, so that way you can have an easier time trying to get the backstabs on him, because getting backstabs on an incline, especially stairs, is like trying to thrust dental floss into your teeth. Yeah. There you go. That's what I meant. What was that? This area right here is quite infamous among Dark Souls players. When I said that other area with the boar is annoying, that's only annoying while the boar is there. This is cancer. There's a ton of these hollowed undead enemies, and they come at you relentlessly. If you're unprepared and you just straight up go into that room, you will get your ass kicked. Don't worry, it is entirely possible to survive. I have just ran into that room before while co-oping, so that way they all target me while the host is fine. If you're a Phantom, I do recommend kind of doing that. Just don't overcommit. Just go in there and take out a few and then come out. So that way the host doesn't have to run in there and be ambushed. If the sorcerer's still alive and you're a Phantom and you're helping a host, simply run into that room and take out that and take out that sorcerer. Speaking of Phantoms, I never read the white soapstone sign. I'm sorry, I'll do that now. All-night play item, leave a summon site. Be summoned to another world as a phantom through your sign and defeat the area boss to require humanity. Hollows cannot conduct summons. And Lord, when the flow of time is distorted and the white soapstone allows the undead to assist one another. That is how co-op works in this game. By leaving down a summon sign, you'll be summoned to the world of another player. That player will be known as the host, and you'll be given the ability to help him in his quest while you're a Phantom. If you manage to stay alive until he defeats the area boss, you will acquire humanity. I believe you acquire a soft humanity, not a hard humanity. But beggars can't be choosers. If we come over here, we can actually see that there's a weird body in a barrel. Roll into it to break it, or a shield basher, whatever you prefer. And he'll drop you a humanity. Okay. Oh, this looks really suspicious. Kick this son of a bitch down and go in here. And up here, you will find a man. Allow me to mute my microphone while we talk.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this, and I guarantee a reward. Only later.
This guy is a scumbag. You might be wondering why he was locked up in there. He was locked up because I don't remember hearing this correctly. I'm not looking it up right now. I'll look it up at the end of the video, and you'll see a caption here that says otherwise. He is a murderer. He was imprisoned in there because he is a murderer. Did anyone else hear that? Now, before we continue, I do want to make myself human. Humanity restored. Alright. I forgot to mention this, but after you rescue that guy, I forget his name already, sorry dude, but after you rescue that murderer from his cell, he will appear here in Firelink Shrine near Anastasia. This is something I wanted to point out because I just remembered I forgot to look at this while I was reading it. The Firekeeper soul. Soul of a long-lost Firekeeper. Each Firekeeper is a corporal manifestation of her bonfire and a draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Her soul is galled by infinite humanity and can boost the power of the precious Estus flasks. I said galled, but I think it's gnawed. I'm just stupid, I don't know how to read, it's gnawed. It can be used to gain humanity and restore HP at the cost of losing the Firekeeper soul to reinforce the Estus flask. You come and talk to Anastasia. She will reinforce your Estus flask and make it an Estus flask +1 as long as you have Firekeeper soul. If you get another one, you can make it a +2, +3, so on and so forth. Do that after you get the Firekeeper soul from beating that dude with the giant mace. Very important that you do that. It's very important that you do that. Also, make sure that you're human returning back to this place. I'll meet you all where we left off.
Hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
Now then, if you've done everything that I showed you to do, and even the thing that I put in post-editing because I forgot to do it originally, you can come up here. If you immediately turn around and ignore that ladder, you can summon the murderer, Knight. I want to call him Lothric. Knight Lothric. I believe that is his name. You can summon him. You can only summon characters when you are human. Remember that. And we can also summon the boy, Knight Solaire. I can't summon him right now because that was happening. So obviously we're also going to summon Knight Solaire. Because why wouldn't we want to have Solaire in this? If you still have any gold pine resin, I recommend buffing it on your weapon before entering the arena. Actually, no, wait. Don't do it before entering the arena. Do it after you've entered the arena. This is one of those boss fights where it doesn't trigger immediately. So if you're playing online, let all of your allies come into the room, buff your weapon, and then walk forward. I'm going to mute my microphone real quick. Here it is, the Bell Gargoyle, the guardian of the first Bell of Awakening. Break the tail as soon as you can and you'll get the Gargoyle Tail Axe. I highly recommend doing that as it's a very fun weapon to use and it's also really good. Having Knight Solaire and Kit Knight Lothric here will really make this fight easier. They make it a lot easier. I actually recommend not using them as they kind of do make the fight trivial. When the other Gargoyle's around 60% health, this one will spawn. Like I said, they make this fight trivial. You will get a twin humanities and a sunlight medal. You will only get the sunlight medal if Knight Solaire has survived until the end. As I said, they make that fight trivial. It's so ridiculous how easy that fight is when they're with you. And I already think the fight is kind of easy. Just with Knight Solaire, as Solaire hits really hard. The Bell Gargoyles actually have a 3% chance to drop the Gargoyle Shield, the Gargoyle Halberd, and the Gargoyle Helm. Do not worry if you missed any of those drops, as there will be a later point in the game where we can fight a Gargoyle-like enemy, where he has a chance of dropping the same weapons. We come up here. We've done it. We've made it to the first Bell of Awakening. Without wasting any time, let's pull this lever and put Chapter 1 to our journey to a close. In the past, I've neglected to mention that this isn't probably going to be a 100% walkthrough. I will be showing you a lot of things that you can do, but not everything. I'm mainly going to be showing you bosses, the optional areas, and a few things that you can do that will help you in the long run. After you ring the Bell of Awakening, this guy will be here. So let's talk to him.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Careem, the Pug. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
This guy will allow you to leave a covenant without the covenant getting upset with you. I'm going to leave the Way of Light as I have no reason to be with them, as I do not plan on casting miracles at any point during our adventure. After you do so, if you have left the covenant by joining another covenant, you can request absolution. This will cause the covenant to no longer be upset with you and basically forgive and forget. He does sell a few things here and there. I have never really paid attention to these, but let's take a look at them. The Purging Stone, ash-colored stone encasing a skull. Secret treasure of Astor. The Earl of Cremine. Reduces curse buildup and breaks curse. Humans are helpless against curse and can only redirect their influence. The Purging Stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a... The stone itself was once a person or some other being. I'm so good at reading. Slip slowed by Bishop of Valkai, goddess of sin. If you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime of that invader. The indicated player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the blades of the dark moon. Homeward Bone, we've been over that. Online play item, check the list of... I want to read that as indicated for some reason. Indicted? I think it's indicted. Of indicted players. The goddess of sin, Valkyrie, oversees the list of the guilty who have disrespected the gods of their covenants, and shall one day face the wrath of the blades of the dark moon. Now, I do believe that if you kill an NPC, you will be put on this list. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've actually heard about that. He does sell this. This is a miracle of the black-haired witch Valkai. Temporary auto counter versus heavy damage. For each sin, there is a punishment, and it is a task of the goddess Valkai to define the sin. And why can I not read? Valkai's Talisman. I bet my friends are watching this and be like, Nick, are you serious? Valkai's Talisman. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. This black tuft of hair that serves as a talisman belongs to Valkai, goddess of sin. It casts miracles not by drawing upon faith, but intelligence. Very interesting. He sells the Blood Bite Ring, one of the infamous bite rings, commissioned by Sir Astor of Kareem. Despite the dreadful rumors surrounding its creation, the ring is an unmistakable asset in its ability to help prevent healing. Yes, this prevents blood buildup or bleed buildup. This prevents poison buildup. Now, once again, here's the Ring of Sacrifice. You can actually buy the Ring of Sacrifice from him, which is very interesting. I like that.
You're not welcome anytime. It is only human to commit a sin.
One thing that I forgot to point out is that while we were going through this place, we got something that's called the basement key. Opens a door leading to the lower Undead Burg. Opens a narrow passage leading below at the far face of the Great Bridge in the Undead Burg. The lower Undead Burg is a treacherous place. Do not turn your back on the willy thieves or the wild dogs who serve the Capra Demon. The Capra Demon. Sounds interesting. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it off here. Next time on Dark Souls Remastered, we're going to discover what this Capra Demon is and venture into the lower Undead Burg. See you guys then.